What's up, everybody? Give it a minute. If some people come in here, if anybody's coming in at all, we shall see how this goes.
Yeah, that's on live.
See how this goes. Just checking out my new webcam. Jeremiah, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining tonight, man. Thanks for joining tonight. Can you hear me and see me all right? Can you just, I don't know, put like an 11 in the chat if you can see and hear me just fine, would you? Watching The Simpsons, all right. What are they on, like their 25th or 26th season or something like that? 27th season? Sweet. Darlene? Jeremiah is a friend of mine from back in elementary school. We kind of lost contact for a while, but we're back in touch now. So he ended up moving to Utah. So Jeremiah, Darlene, she's like my extended sister from. She's my sister from another mister. She's from Tennessee, so she's cool. She's cool. Holy crap, you're gonna be binge watching for what month? Jeremiah said he started on season 1 and he's on season 8, episode 21.
What?
Simpsons.
Oh, right.
How many seasons have they got, Jeremiah? Jeremiah says forever. Yeah. The Simpsons. He's binge watching The Simpsons. He's watching them from season 1 all the way, I would assume, until they're done, right, Jeremiah? Right. Holy shit, they got 33. They've been on for 33 years?
Really?
Holy shit, we're old as hell, bro. Donuts. Don't say that. I know we're old. I just said that means Bart Simpson's old. So there you go. Too bad we couldn't have been drawn out like cartoon characters, you know? Anyhow. Yeah. Sister Darlene, she's a little bit older than us. But I guess the picture is a lot better now that I got the camera on. Yeah. I used to have to sneak to my grandparents' house to watch The Simpsons because my parents wouldn't let me watch them at home. Dude, my parents wouldn't. Okay, let's make a list here. Let's see. The Simpsons I couldn't watch. Beavis and Butthead I couldn't watch. Ren and Stimpy I couldn't watch. Pretty much anything on Nickelodeon I couldn't watch. There were some episodes of Jeopardy my dad wouldn't let me watch. I'm just kidding. But pretty much, like when Will and Grace first came out, My dad said, no way. Steve Urkel. Yep. It's log, it's big, it's round, it's wood. It's log, it's bigger, it's better than good. Hell yeah. I love Ren and Stimpy. Yeah. The Chihuahua and the cat. I could watch Fraggle Rock too. But I love Fraggle Rock. My wife loved Fraggle Rock too. So Fraggle Rock was cool as hell, I thought. At least it wasn't the Smurfs. My grandma watched the Smurfs all the time. I couldn't stand that shit. I couldn't watch the Steve Urkel show, the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. All kinds of shit. But so here's a funny story. We had a block on MTV. Yep, my parents had a block on MTV most of the time until I probably hit 10th, 11th grade. So here's a funny story. So for Christmas, back when I was a kid, my parents made sure no matter how poor we were, my parents always got my oldest sister and I AM FM tape deck stereo, just a little one, like this, whatever. But this is how dumb of a kid I was. Just how dumb I was. I just would take it out of the box and plug it in, and it would automatically be on the radio station. So that's just where I left it. Like the knob never turned or whatever. It wasn't until years later, until I was at Jeremiah's house, as a matter of fact, and I didn't even know. My parents, my parents would. My dad would take the stereo out of the box and take it apart, and then tune it into the oldies radio channel, and then super glue the dial in place. So I don't know. I just figured, depending on which part of the country you were or whatever, I'm just a dumb kid, whatever. But I just figured, just one station is all you got. So for years I just listened to oldies, and then it wasn't until I was at your house, Jeremiah, when we was listening to your dad's stereo, because you had like the bombest stereo back I remember as a kid. And listening to Billy Joel, we didn't start the fire. Oh yeah, baby. But it wasn't until then that I even realized you were like, hey, change the radio station. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Change the radio station. You're like, dial, turn it. Dude, I went home. I was so pissed off at my mom and dad. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, for all these years, they're like, you never question it? Why the hell would I? You're my parents. So yeah, just whatever. Like, I was sheltered in that aspect. And then I just went for the fucking gusto after Jeremiah moved away. I was just like went off the deep end, like shot, stabbed, ran over 5 times. The Snorks are the Smurfs cousins. Yeah, I still don't know every word to that damn song, but I act like I do. Hell yeah. Life lessons, live and learn. Yep. And then shortly after that, I discovered Paula Abdul. We had some time together, tell you what. And then, oh yeah, so Guns N' Roses came in, and I just like broke out of my shell. I was like, smash this stereo, I'm getting a real one. Billy Joel is awesome. I'm just getting it, But so we're gonna change subjects a little bit here because this is a little bit too serious or too lighthearted for me. So I gotta feel like I'm accomplishing something today. Okay, I hate you. I hate you right now, Jeremiah. You'll get lucky if I ever talk to you again. There ain't no coming. This is even worse than the crybaby warhead incident. Nope. Nope. Like when Emilio Estevez got a divorce from her, I could have killed him. Like, what are you kidding me? What the fuck? Jeremiah got to see her in concert a few years ago. Yeah. I'm just kidding, bro. Hey, don't be laughing. I will hate you. I'm just kidding. I kind of don't like you right now. I'm just being serious, bro. But it's not like on the back of the bus with Jeannie driving and me puking up my guts on a goddamn gumball. That was great. That cost me a whole week sitting in the front seat. It was horrible. Dude, I came on that bus and after she snatched me up so quick, she's like, "You get up!" I'm like, oh, what do you want me to say? Like, I was embarrassed, man. Like, she was pissed. Yeah. Do you remember when? I think it was the summer of sixth grade. It could have been, yeah. I think it was the summer of sixth grade. With Tony Ellis punched me in the back of the fucking head. He cheap shot at me, punched me in the back of the head on the bus. That was bullshit. I still like to kick his ass over that one. But oh, Jeremiah knows I love him. We have my sunglasses, baby. This is my sunglasses, man. I just want to get this stuff back. What did I ask you that you said no to? Damn, I'm so slow sometimes. Like my messages, or my chat messages on here? Oh, that's what it was. Right, Tony Ellis. You don't remember when he punched me? Yeah, that was stupid. Fucking asshole. He tried pushing me around for a couple years after that. He succeeded until I finally had enough after that shit. About middle of ninth grade, I really broke out of my shell and started hurting people after that shit. Well, it is what it is. Sorry, I gotta answer this real quick. Hey, do you wanna call me on Messenger, Jeremiah? You come up and just nobody will see your face or anything. We can just have a talk and you can join the conversation that way if you want. Oh yeah, forever your girl. Oh yeah. Tell you what, yeah. And my wife's sort of like, oh my god, oh my god. Oh, hey, well, it's not the first time Darlene's heard it. No. It might be. So I have an idea. Since I didn't know or have an idea on where this show was going to go tonight. I put the sunglasses on because I get cluster migraines. Oh yeah, I can't watch the concert right now. I bet she did sound amazing. She's just got hella talent, dude. Like, my wife's like, yeah, he can't be watching that shit with his wife around. Come on now. Let's see. This is what my idea is. So since this show, oh, I was gonna ask you. My son bought Jeremiah, and my son bought a new Super Mario game. You like build your own levels and shit. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because I know you were saying that you played like Mario Kart. I'm not sure if it's called Mario Kart anymore, but I know that's what it was called back in the day when it's brand new, like 80 eons ago. I think so. I think so. Yeah. Um, do you play that one at all? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, Mario Maker. What's up, everybody? Hey, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. Let's see if we can get as many thumbs up as we do in the chats. That would be cool. I tried. It was hard. Yeah. Can you like put those? Can you like put those levels online and shit? Right? People can play them and whatnot. Damn dog. He's not crying for me. He just wants to play. My wife's not paying attention to him, so he's feeling like he's left out. Hey, do me a favor, hit that like, hit that thumbs up, hit that thumbs up for me. Smash, smash that button, smash that button. You know, trying to do a little bit of excitement here. Welcome to Get to Know. Please smack that like button. Bam! You got that right, sister. Whatever happened to Tony? You know what? The last I know, like he ended up getting in some trouble, and um, he ended up doing. I think he did like 11 or 12 years. I think, pretty sure it was him. Yeah, he he always had, shit. He had it just about as bad as we did, if not worse when it came to his parents and shit. His parents really, I don't think his parents really cared about him all that much, but you know, I know that he dropped out of school in 10th grade. For sure, I know that he dropped out of school in 10th grade. Right after he thought he was going to kick my ass. And I ended up kicking his ass. Well, it was probably a pretty fair, it was probably a pretty well matched fight. We both got some bumps and bruises. I don't know what his problem was with me, but like he just always needed to pick on somebody, I guess. So I'm glad I could be there for him for that. But,
I know shit.
he gave me best friend necklace in 4th grade. Yeah, I know you guys. You and Tony and Jess were all. Dude, I'm so fucking jealous of you guys, dude. Like I wanted to be part of your guys' little group so bad, dude. Like I did, man. Like when I got to be in your 5th grade, when I got to be in 6th grade class with you, like that was fucking amazing. I was like, yes, I'm stealing him away from everybody. He's gonna be my friend and my friend. Yeah. Miss Almahana. Oh yeah. ALMOHANNA. Almahana. That's fucking funny. That's fucking funny. He like legitimately had you convinced that you were gonna get a period. That's great. That's great. That's great, bro. That's great. I won't tell nobody.
I know now.
He told me he already got his, and that means that he's a man now, but that it felt like he was pissing ice cubes. And so I was like all nervous. I bet I would have been. Really? Does he still live in his mom and dad's house? I know that he lived there. I know that he lived there for quite some time after high school and stuff. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. You know who I always think about whatever happened to is Dallas Denton. You remember Dallas? You remember him at all? Yeah, I know. Like when you and I became friends in Miss Almahana's class, like, dude, there was a few pissed off people, dude. There was a few pissed off people. Like, Jess really did not like me for that one. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. I don't got that. I don't have that many followers and stuff. So, not until I get real famous, nobody will ever hear our secret, bro. Sister, you're not supposed to tell him that. So, yeah, I remember Dallas one time we came back from, I believe it was spring break. Tall, kind of tall, real skinny, big ears. I remember he came back from spring break and he like stayed out in the water real long or some shit, and his whole entire back was just one solid blister, basically. Yeah. If you want to call me on messenger anybody, Jeremiah or Darlene, you can, so I don't feel like I'm just talking to myself. You know, my dad and mom never let me watch Dallas just because my dad didn't like Texas. Go figure. Yeah, that's right. That's probably. You need a Who Shot Junior party, LOL. What the hell is a Who Shot Junior party? Is that like the Christmas Who's, like in Whoville? Like sipping on some eggnog? Who's JR? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, on Dallas.
I told you I wasn't allowed to watch that shit. Yeah, I wasn't lying. I wasn't allowed to watch that shit. So let's so I just googled new laws, new sexual abuse laws changed recently, and I figured we would go over this one. It's kind of got some pretty big implications in it, and it has the opportunity to bring a lot of people justice and what have you. So um, this is from the online article The Hill, just so you can see. Oops. Right there. The Hill. That's where the news article came from. Are you? What do you mean everything froze? Are you still froze? Is it still froze? Oh, okay. Hang on. I'll get you. I got you. I'm being dumb again. Are you there?
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Not too much. How are you, bro?
Good. Like everything just froze.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think your podcast ended.
No, I can hear you on there.
Oh, there it goes. It just froze when I tried to call you.
See how special you are?
There's a huge delay. You're talking about Dallas, Texas right now.
Oh, yeah, you better click forward. Just fast forward on your screen.
Oh, there we go. What is this technology?
I know, what is this shit? Like I have a hard time logging into Facebook and shit, so.
Is that you on the picture video bot?
What is that weird thing right there? Don't touch that. What is it? So, as I was saying, a recent bill has passed in legislation. This story is by Michael Schnell, and it came out September 13th, 2022. Oh. It's a bill eliminating statute of limitations for child sex abuse civil suits heads to Biden's desk.
How could there be a statute of limitations? That's ridiculous.
Right. But here's where I have a hard time with some things on this. Is if an 8 or 9-year-old kid does something to an 8 or 9-year-old kid, and then 30 years later they decide to press charges, they get, you know what I mean? Like that's a hard one for me. Like I know that it's difficult to come forward about sexual abuse and all that, But I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? I just
Yeah, that is rough because an 8 or 9-year-old kid, you know, depending on what they're doing to the other kid, you know, if it's beyond just like an experimentation, if like the kid's been abused and now he's doing the abuse, that's different.
right.
Though, but
Right.
still, he was 9 years old. He was thinking like an abused 9-year-old at the time.
Yeah, and
So,
because he was
yeah.
thinking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just thinking he didn't get help. You know, we have that one friend who's in prison now for making bad choices, and he never got help when he was a child and being abused.
Yeah.
And I just think his life would have turned out so much different if he would have been helped and been through therapy and stuff.
I'm sure. There's quite a few, like Carson Clark. He went down the deep hill. He went down the deep end, and Mikey
I
Pine.
don't remember Carson.
You don't remember Carson? Yeah, he wasn't. He really didn't. I don't think he was in. He wasn't in. He didn't go to Jefferson. He was in Irving though. He didn't really start coming. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I was only Irving for a year. So.
Yeah. So this new bill, like I just have a hard time with. You know, I mean, if you're a kid and you change your ways of life and you're not a sexual abuser anymore, and you know it stopped that experimentation and whatnot. Like I really don't agree with it being okay for them to be charged as an adult 30 years down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean that seems kind
I don't agree with that either.
You know, I mean, and I'm not trying to, and I'm. Don't get me wrong, anybody who ends up watching this. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying pedophilia is okay and it's acceptable at a young age. I'm just saying that that's a hard line. It's a hard line to draw in the sand for me.
Yeah, but there's more than one victim in that scenario. Each one of those kids is a victim.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I don't agree with that either. I think that's not fair.
Yeah, like my wife was saying, you know, what's the reasoning behind it? Like there's a newer case that's coming out. This one guy had a channel here on YouTube. I try not to talk about other channels and shit. So this guy had a channel on YouTube, and his channel was doing good, like for a good cause, and his sister and his cousin came out here just last week and said that he, as a kid, was raping them and all kinds of shit, and like that was only like he was 17 and they were 9 and 10, and now for me that's like a clear cut case of go ahead and hang the motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's absolutely abuse. That's
you know. Whether
that 17-year-old knows better.
Yeah, whether or not whether it's 5 years down the road, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years down the road, maybe it took that person that long to get the courage to come up and say something about it, you know. So you know,
that's bad.
But this bill says the House on Tuesday passed a bill eliminating the statute of limitations for victims of child sex abuse who seek to file civil crimes or claims, sending the measure to President Biden's desk for final approval. The chamber.
I believe he needs a file.
Joe Pedo Biden. Yeah, Joe Pedo Biden. Yep, I believe it. I believe it. So.
They're above the law.
Oh yeah, well they're like that's part. Yeah, my wife said he's probably touching the kid right now.
Dude, there's videos of him sniffing kids and
rubbing on. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, just
pull away from him. Like the kids know.
Yeah.
That guy's a bad guy.
Yep. Like you can like the one girl that he ends up sniffing her hair and then grabs her by the arm and like holds her close. she's like looking at, like,
Yeah.
she's totally disgusted. Like, she's like
That's like me.
completely
Yeah, it's-
uncomfortable. I mean, and these
It's
politicians just stand.
uncomfortable just to watch it. Like, you're like, where's this girl's father?
Yeah.
Punching him in the nose or something, you know?
Oh, he's
Get
shaking.
away from him.
Yeah,
Don't shake him.
he's shaking Joe Biden's hand. He's getting ready to be sworn into office. You know.
Yeah.
So.
I think there's a lot of evil in politics and a lot of evil in Hollywood.
Oh, there is. Oh, there is. Oh, you'd not be wrong.
A lot of it's coming out right now.
And
Like, shit in Hollywood.
I have, yeah, like I have a feeling these next couple of years are going to be really, really an eye opener for a lot of people in our country. Like, we're slowly approaching. We're I don't want to say slowly. We're rapidly approaching 1 million people on the registers, on the sex offender registry, on the National Sex Offender
Oh my
Registry.
gosh.
But if you think about it,
How do you monitor that?
and see, they don't. Do you have your TV on in the background, bro?
No, I do not. I don't even have your live feed going anymore because I was.
Okay. I wonder what it is. Okay. Yeah, I'll be right back. Hang on a second. But
It doesn't make any sense. They want to add 87,000 IRS agents to go after taxpayers, but yet we have a million sex offenders on a registry.
okay, now,
And how many
yeah,
people do we have monitoring that?
yeah.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Now, here's how they justify that. There's almost 1 million registered sex offenders on the sex offender registry nationally. For
Blows my mind.
for every one of them that's on the sex offender registry, there should be another 9 that get away with it.
Oh my god.
Out of
9 million people.
oh, easy, Jeremiah, easy. Out of every 1,000 for every age, out of every 1,000 sexual assault cases or sexual abuse cases, guess how many of them end up going to prison? Out of the 1,000 assailants,
I would say less than 10%.
25 out of 1,000 end up going to prison. 975. Yep, 975 of them will never end up in prison for their charge.
You know, and I've worked with kids long enough, and kids will tell me these horrible things that are happening to them, and then we reach out to state services who are supposed to intervene and help these kids do, but you wouldn't believe how many times they're just like, well, we're going to put their abuser through therapy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? And then the kid is still in that person's custody.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to change that person.
Yeah, you can't. It's impossible.
No.
It's impossible. Like, there's over 56,000 children from the age of newborn to one day before they turn 18 that come up missing and are never seen from again out of social services care every single year in this country, out of foster care.
And that's disgusting.
Over 56,000.
In defense of the state services, they are low staffed. They really are.
Oh yeah.
They have. One time, I had a detective tell me that this is disgusting because we had to report a kid he had been sexually assaulted by somebody in his family, and they had told me that sex abuse is not life threatening. We have hundreds of kids in the same situation as that person. We can't help them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was told that by a detective. It's not life threatening. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, I only attempted to commit suicide the first time when I was 9. So,
right?
you know.
You know how many kids I work with that are cutters?
Oh, I bet.
And I just saw on the news today, there's like an increase. I don't know if this was just in Utah, but like 81,000 hospitalizations for suicidal teens or kids.
Wow.
And I believe it was just in Utah because I was watching local news this morning. But that's insane. That is insane. I mean, I work with elementary kids. Like I've had second graders that talk suicidal and are self-harming.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous because the laws don't allow us to ask them specific questions. I can be like, why do you feel that way? Why are you doing this? That's fine. I can't be like, is somebody hurting you? Is somebody doing stuff to you makes you feel uncomfortable? I can't say those questions because they consider that leading.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane.
It's disgusting. Like I don't know how many kids you have in class or any of that, but I guarantee you that 3/4 of the kids in every single classroom at some point in time have been sexually abused.
It's a really rough statistic. I've seen the statistics, with some of the girls that I've worked with, you can tell like their whole personality changes.
Yep.
And something's happening to them.
Yep.
Boys are a little bit different that I've worked with. Some of them just hide it. They become very
closed off.
They're very quiet. Yeah, they try to overcompensate with like sports or doing things that are considered masculine, like over.
Yep.
And they're just messed up too until they just don't know what to do anymore.
Shit, it's almost like you know me a little bit.
Well, I've worked with kids in this situation for a long time, and it's really disheartening because there's all these services, like here in the state of Utah, there's a lot of services that are in place to help kids like this, but it just falls short of ever succeeding, it seems like.
Yeah. It seems like to me like the most important things that need to be addressed and be like sponsored or paid for by our government are the least looked at. Like just like with the National Sex Offender Registry. Did you know that like when a person has to register, they can put them on tiers now? Tier 1 is 5 years, tier 2 is 10 years, tier 3 is life, and after 5 or 10 years, they can get off of this National Sex Offender Registry because they fulfilled their sentence. But even though the act of sexually abusing a child makes them a sex offender for the rest of their life, because nobody can take that away. Not even God himself can take that away from him being a sexual abuser or her being a sexual abuser. Hello, Innovative Solutions. Glad to see you here. So he's a sex offender. She's a sex offender for the rest of their life. And after all, there's no list that I get to put myself on that takes my sexual abuse away from me after 10 years. I'll be a victim for the rest of my life, no matter how I look at it. And it's just bullshit. Like, did you know that they do not keep statistics on sexual abuse on children under the age of 12 to newborn? They don't. So all these numbers and all these statistics that everybody sees, like however many people or however many kids are being sexually abused every year and whatnot, that's only from the age of 12 to the day before they turn 18. That's it. So all the abuse, like technically, all the abuse that I received from the time I was 5.5, or the time I was 5 till I turned 11, doesn't count.
Well, it counts, but it's just not reported where as it should be.
Right. And I think if people, if they started counting, if they started counting all of those cases, I think it'd be a little bit more eye opening for people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like legitimately, it would be more eye opening. Like the numbers would skyrocket. The numbers would skyrocket.
I think you're right.
You know, and then
Yeah.
like my biggest thing with the National Sex Offender Registry is it's a great idea, but it's a failed concept. It's a failed program, and I look at it now as a way. It was a way to give people a false sense of security. Oh, I know where this sex offender lives, and I know where this sex offender lives, and I know. But for every one that you know where they live, there's another 9 of them that are right there in the same neighborhood.
So I looked up the address of the school that I work at to see what was around the neighborhood. You would not freaking believe how many are close to a school. I know they're not supposed to be so close to an elementary school.
I'm not sure. Go ahead.
And they're too close as it is. I mean, they showed up on the map.
Yeah. Right here in town, there's a middle school. I won't name which bird it is, but right there on the other side of the chain link fence, on the 8-foot chain, on the other side of the 8-foot chain link fence, there's an apartment complex. It's a single layer apartment complex. Runs 10 on one side and 10 on the other side, so 20 apartments right there, and like 14 out of the 20 apartments are registered sex offenders. They're not supposed to be in Idaho. I don't remember if it's 1,000 feet, if it's 500 feet or 1,000 feet, but they're not supposed to be within 500 feet to 1,000 feet of a school, a daycare, any children's clinic, any of that shit. I'm sure the laws are the same way in Utah. Do you want to know why they get away with it? Like my abuser and my wife's abuser they had to register. My abuser still registered. My wife's abuser, the motherfucker, finally died, so that was good. They were both non-compliant. My abuser was non-compliant for like 18 months. I even called Blackfoot and said, "Hey, I know where he's at. Let's go get it." You know what I mean? Like, what does non-compliant mean to you?
That means like they're AWOL. They're not complying with the whatever they're supposed to be doing.
Right. And like the detective I spoke with in Blackfoot, he literally laughed at me. Like, "You want us to do what?" I said, "What do you mean? I want you, like, he's breaking the fucking law. I can take you to where he's at. What's the big problem?"
Yeah.
"Oh, well, did you know as soon as a sex offender gets off of probation or parole, they're no longer personally monitored by anybody."
So it's just left up to them to report it on their own good graces.
Yep, they have to report 4 times a year.
And why would they?
They have to report 4 times a year. They have to do 3 mail-ins, which they just confirm that, "Yep, I live at this address. Yep, that's my address." They do that 3 times a year, and they got to go get their picture taken once a year.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Once they do their probation and parole, that's it. They're let go free and clear. But yet they're not supposed to be on social media. They're not supposed to be living next to schools, and it's disgusting. So that's why they live right next to the school there.
I'm trying to think, when we were kids, were there any programs in place that taught us about this type of stuff? I mean, we had stranger danger, but did we know other than just being kidnapped?
I don't even, and I really don't even really remember stranger danger. It was more like watch for trains, and I mean, you know what I mean?
Maybe that was. Yeah, it seems like in our generation they spent a lot of time about drug addiction.
Yeah.
and this is your brain on drugs type of stuff.
Right.
You know, now we have programs like
Mr. McGruff.
we do feelings. We used to teach kids about feelings. You know, pay attention to your feelings. If you don't feel right about somebody, this is an feeling. If somebody's making you uncomfortable, it's an feeling. So they did that. Every time they do that meeting, and they haven't done it in years, I get flooded with kids coming to my office. Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something?
God, I don't know if I could. I don't know, dude. That would be so. That would be just extremely hard for me to handle. That would be extremely hard for me to handle.
It is.
Although I have had a couple of my friends' kids come to me, like they've overheard me having conversations with their parent or whatever, or just talking about my sexual abuse, because I'm open about my sexual abuse. You know what I mean? Like I figure the best way to raise awareness about it is to speak about it. I mean, maybe if our parents' generation weren't so quick to shuck it under the rug, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad for a lot of us, you know. But no, I get so many things going through my head at once. I get all scatterbrained.
I know. You know, I think one of the important things that we can do now for this youth is to, you know, make them aware. Like, you know, people are pretty good about keeping an eye on their children now, and they watch their kids, and they don't, like, when we were kids, we had sleepovers, like, all the time with people.
Yeah.
Parents do not let their kids sleep over anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's just too many incidences of that type of stuff happening.
Yeah, but then you get then you don't have your kids participating in these sleepovers, but 90% of these parents, when their kids are home on the weekends and whatever, their kids go in their room and they don't check on their kids. They don't know what the hell they're doing on that TV box. You know what I mean?
The internet has made it really bad.
Oh yeah.
You know, I have big problems with pornography now. Even in elementary school, we have problems with pornography.
I bet.
Children addicted to pornography.
I bet. It makes you wonder why is that third grader, why is that second grader, why are they watching Pornhub?
Yeah.
You know, like how come like I didn't even know what a porno was until I was like in 5th or 6th grade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just takes one you know, incident. One kid gets exposed, and then that kid, it's just like an infection. It just runs through the whole friend group.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So when we were kids, if one of us had a porno magazine, we showed it to our buddies.
Yep.
You know? But, damn, it was hard to find a Playboy. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I remember having one Playboy, and it was like the holy grail between me and some of my friends. One of my friends took it home, and his dad caught him with it, and I never saw it again.
Yeah.
But now it's instant access, and to just millions, you know. And the comedian that I saw last night, he brought up a good point. He's like, you can look up boobs on the internet, and it'll give you 9 million pictures of boobs. He says, and you can even spell it wrong. You can put in boobs, and Google will be like, did you mean boobs?
Yeah.
Because it knows, you know.
Yep.
And it's just out of control. We need more active parenting.
Yep.
You know, we need
more active parenting.
That friend that we're more. You know, I talked about that friend that we have that's in prison now.
Right.
That we had. I wouldn't consider him a friend now, but he told me what was happening to him when we were in school, and I got him to tell his parents. I was like, dude, you have to tell your parents. The things that he was telling me, I didn't even understand what he was telling me, like the things that was happening to him. But I knew it was wrong. I just knew it was bad because I had that feeling, you know.
Right.
He told his parents, and then his parents dropped the ball.
Yep.
They just left it up to their church leader and didn't seek out any professional help.
Yeah, his parents ended up getting divorced in like 8th grade, and then he really just went fucking haywire after that. Man.
And I bet that's what caused it. I bet it was, because there's probably a lot more after that, you know, because I moved out of there, and I mean, he told me in 5th grade, and then I was out by 7th grade.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure there's more stuff to the story, but still.
Right. I'm blown away that he said something. I wish that I would have had the courage to speak up and say something to somebody, man.
But it's a scary thing. It's a terrifying thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
I don't think he felt. He never said anything like he was threatened. It just came up almost in the casual conversation, and I didn't understand what he was telling me. I was like, "What are you telling me?" In fact, when he told me, I freaked out and ran home.
Wow.
I took off. He had a goalie behind his house, and I went down the goalie, and then I was freaking lost. Took me forever to get home. But I just didn't understand what he was telling me. Like, I can't process that. Like, what? I mean, and the abuse wasn't even happening to me, and I couldn't process it. So I can't imagine somebody who had to go through that. How that processing is just so terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think, Darlene? What do you think, Innovative? You got any questions for Jeremiah that you want to ask or anything?
I forgot we were online.
I know, me too. Me too. Darlene sent me a text message. She said, "Don't forget us in chat." Yeah. But no, like so approaching 1 million registered sex offenders on the sex offender registry. Well, there should be 10 times that many. Like easily 10 times that many. So right now on the internet, at any given moment on the internet, there's 300,000 sex offenders, whether they're caught yet or not, right now soliciting children. At every given moment of the day, 300,000 rock bottoms, at least 300,000 pedophiles, predators, trying to get children in this country through this little camera right here.
You know, and that blows me away because, you know, with all the tracking and algorithms and stuff, you know, just us talking about this, we're going to get some weird ass advertisements. I guarantee you.
Oh,
Someone's
yeah.
going to pop up in our Facebook now about abuse hotlines or something.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that they can't find these people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And why? Why not? Why not?
It's all right there for everybody.
I know.
You know.
Kids have reached out to me through Xbox because somebody was saying weird stuff to them. I joined an Xbox party one time, and there were 2 guys saying sexual things to the kid was probably 3rd grade in this game. I had to log in through my son. My son had the game. I didn't even have this game. I didn't understand what it was. But on Xbox, they have virtual chat rooms where you're an avatar, and these sickos will tell kids sexual things and even they're doing sexual things to their avatar with their avatar in these virtual chat rooms.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is insane. This is insane.
Yeah.
And so it's out there. It's I think social media makes it easier for them. The reason why I like Nintendo so much for kids is because Nintendo does not have a chat app, or you can't text or vocally chat on Nintendo unless the game itself has in-game chat. So like Fortnite has in-game chat, so you can talk to people. Minecraft, you can't talk to people vocally, but you can text people in the game.
Right.
But nobody can send your kids messages on their Nintendo. There's no messaging app on Nintendo. That's what I like about Nintendo for kids.
Right.
It just seems more safe.
Right. Darlene says, I said you were taught stranger danger, but what about when parents were the sex offenders? That's a fucked up
That's
situation.
rough.
That's a fucked up situation. I got lucky on that. I got lucky in that sense because my parents, you know how my dad used to drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all of our dads drink, dude.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And like that's like the max of abuse my dad abuse that I suffered from my dad was his sex abuse was his alcohol abuse. Let's make that clear. That was a blue. My dad never sexually abused me or anybody. He just drank a lot. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really even know how to don't even know how to answer that one. I really don't, Darlene. That's a rough fucked up situation.
Unfortunately, I've worked with kids who were abused by a parent, and it messes them up because the kid still loves them.
Yeah.
That's their parent, and it's such a violation of trust. It is such a violation of trust. I'm like, and it's rough because I see these kids have breakdowns and they're having problems socially now, like interacting with other people.
Yeah.
Because they're like their parent taught them this evil way of affection. I can't think of a better word, but it just messes them up. It's a huge violation of trust, and
yeah,
and I'm sure it's going to affect them in their relationships for their whole life without proper help. I mean, I really strongly believe in therapy, in good therapy.
Yeah.
A good therapist.
Yeah. So Darlene asked you. She said, you work with children. What kind of job? Were you there?
I'm a behavioral health assistant. So I work with social workers and I work with a child psychologist. And when we work with children as a team.
Did you hear that, Darlene? He said, "Wow, awesome." He says that it's pretty hard. Some of the things that kids have come up and told him. I can only imagine.
So when a kid comes up and discloses stuff to me, I'm strong. And then when I'm by myself or I'm with somebody else, dude, I break down because I'm so angry. I'm so angry. And so there's a lot of tears involved because it's hard to deal with because you just want to go fix that problem for them. You just want to take that problem away from them. Yeah. But what sucks is, it's usually a family member. Yeah. And it's just, the emotions are just insane. They're intense.
Yeah. And just so you know, that's what this Get to Know channel is about, bro. Like I know you can't openly speak about it in person, you know what I mean, by name and whatnot, I'm sure, but you're always welcome here to come and have somebody to talk to, man.
And it's good. This is a good thing, and this is a good thing that you're doing. This, you've taken this terrible experience, and you're turning it into something positive for other people. You're providing support. None of us are professionals, but life experience, and that's a lot.
Yeah. I might not get paid for what I do, but I've got some experience in the category.
Yeah. And you know firsthand how to deal with it and how not to deal with it, and and stuff.
Yep.
It's really hard to explain to a child that I've had to have conversations where I'm like, listen, not all men are bad.
Yeah.
And it's a horrible thing to have to try to say to a kid because it's just like, when really all I can say is like, I'm not bad,
Right.
I can't speak for everybody because I always fear saying something like that and then something bad happens to that kid again and they come back at me and be like, you told me. And I'll be like, shit.
Darlene, will you put the name of your book in the chat so I can tell Jeremiah about it? Darlene's wrote a couple of books now. She's a survivor of some extreme sexual abuse, like down to her dad mutilating parts of her genitalia when she was 4.
I'm sorry to hear that, Darlene.
And sex trafficked and all just grotesque, right down to the sheriff's deputies, and
it's just so evil.
It is too. Darlene J. Clark, Shattered Innocence. You can find it on Amazon, right, Darlene?
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, Shattered Innocence. Well, come here. Come say hi to everybody. Come say hi. 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 But so the sex offender registry is like one of the main things that I want to go after and get a change to. Like, there's nobody that sees over these parasites after they get off probation and parole, and they should be monitored by a probation, or not. You don't have to call it probation or parole. You can just call it being sexually monitored by somebody.
Yeah.
By somebody.
But once again, it's going to come down to manpower, lack of manpower.
Yeah. Well, I'll volunteer. You know what I mean? Like if here's kind of an idea of mine. Okay, our country invests so much money and manpower into the drug task force, into this war on drugs, right? Like Nancy Reagan, was it Nancy Reagan that started it, or was it Barbara Bush that started the war on drugs?
Just say no.
Yeah, so
she did the Just Say No. See,
so,
but that's something that sticks with us, though. You know, I've read things where the DARE program, they think the DARE program wasn't effective. For me, it was effective.
Well, right, yeah, for me it was effective too. But what I'm saying is maybe they should take quite a big chunk of their war on drugs budget, and instead of declaring a war on drugs, I mean, drugs are bad. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. But from my viewpoint, if they took a lot of that money and put it into the war on pedophilia, there probably wouldn't be such a need for a war on drugs. You know what I mean?
You know, here's the hard thing about trying to. We can educate parents. It's a little more touchy if you want to try to educate kids about this, because you can actually give them like an idea, like, oh, wait a minute, what are we talking about?
Yeah, well, see, like with my wife and I, we're both survivors of sexual abuse. My wife, she was abused by her stepdad, and he literally waited, like pushed and pushed and pushed her for like 4 years, 5 years for her to call him dad. And as soon as she started calling him dad, he started sexually abusing her.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Like talk about betrayal. Did you know?
Yeah.
Did you know that there's the chances that a child is going to get sexually abused when there's a step parent in the home goes up 99%.
Wow.
99%.
Why? I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. And, you know, and then
I don't get it.
What? You know, I just can't think of how to, you know, because it's the kids that you have to arm against this. They have to be able to recognize the situation's going bad. Yep. You know, they've got to be able to recognize the signs. But who do you want? I definitely don't want the school system teaching kids that.
Right. So see, here's what we did. Right. Here's what we did. Now, see, my parents didn't really. I don't ever remember my parents talking to me about sexual abuse. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't. I really don't. When my own supposed birth parents, even before step parents. Yeah, see, and Darlene, both of her parents sexually abused her before her step parents even did. So, like,
I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah, yeah. What was I saying?
About parents. You were
Oh.
you were starting to talk about what you and your wife did
Right,
for to educate your children.
like our parents, they didn't. Do you remember your parents talking to you about sexual abuse and a auntie, uncle, or cousin?
No.
Okay, I don't
We didn't
either.
have those.
I don't even.
I just.
I didn't even have a virgin abuse
It's
talk with
just,
my parents.
you know, it's hard for me to comment on certain things just because I didn't have that experience.
Right.
You know, all
Right.
I know is other people's experiences,
Right.
and
see,
how to try to help them.
So my wife and I, when we had our son, we both knew about our past abuse, you know what I mean, and whatnot. And
Yeah.
then our daughter came along, and right around the time my daughter turned like 3 or 4, we decided that we were going to educate them in our way about no swears.
Oh yeah, there's a song.
And whatnot. So, because we just looked at it like this, I would rather have that uncomfortable talk with my kids and have them protected than have to have my kids come and have an uncomfortable talk to me about me not protecting them. So since the time we thought our kids could understand what we were talking about, we just started talking to them about it. And how we did it is we just told them about our abuse, like what happened, like when the first time that happened to me, I had no fucking clue. No clue. I knew it was weird, but I really didn't know it was weird. I was driving a car. I'm 5 years old driving a car, while he's got his fucking shit stuck up between my legs. You know what I mean? Like, so
That's terrible.
And it just progressively got worse from there. But my wife and I can honestly say that we stopped that cycle of sexual abuse in our family.
Yeah.
Like the person who abused me, he abused my half brother, he abused some of my cousins, he abused a couple of my uncles, and and it's just horrible. It's horrible. So that's
terrible.
So that's what we did. I mean, we just kind of looked at it like I would rather have that uncomfortable talk right now and throughout life, rather than have my kids approach me and say, "Hey, guess what? Uncle so and so or Auntie so and who is doing such and such," So that's just what we did. That's what we did. So
and
yeah.
The schools are a good place for kids to be able to feel safe enough to talk about that kind of stuff. So for like with me in the department that I work in the school, it's me and 4 women. Well, not every kid feels comfortable talking to a woman.
Yeah.
And sometimes the abuser is a woman. It's not just men that abuse. And so kids will come and talk to me.
Yeah.
And I can always hear it in their voice. As soon as they say, "Mr. Jeremiah," I'm like, oh my God. In my head, I'm like, what are they about to say?
Darlene says, thanks, Jeremiah, for caring. Jeremiah.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We just need more caring people, that's for sure.
Yep. Yep.
Need more people to be like, hey.
Yep. And
I don't know. It's a scary world just because TikTok has got a bad problem with these trends. They're normalizing, it's okay to give your homie a hand job or something, or they have these games where they touch each other's genitals, and they're normalizing this stuff. So I'm just like, ugh. And then the kids come to school and they're like, these kids will do stuff at school. I'm like, where did you learn how to do that? And they're like, TikTok showed me how to do it.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
Yep. And I'm glad
they're normalizing certain behavior.
Yep. I've been saying it ever since I started this channel. And people are like, what are you talking about? They're normalizing it. What do you mean? Like if you can't see that it's being normalized, you're part of the fucking problem.
Yeah. And this has nothing to do with the LGBTQ community. I'm not saying anything negative against that community. I'm specifically talking about pedophiles. And when they try to put pedophilia underneath that LGBTQ community, it's wrong. Yeah. I have many gay and lesbian friends, and they speak out against that so strongly. They're like, that is not right. You do not hurt children. And
and see my
California
and I'm not against the LGBTQ community myself, but my abuser happened to be homosexual. So, I mean, do I hold that against other homosexuals? No, they're not.
No.
They're not sticking their fucking junk in my mouth when I was 10 years old. You know what I mean? So.
Your abuser, he wasn't gay. He was a pedophile.
Yeah.
He was a pedophile.
Yeah. Yes.
A
sexual deviant. Yes.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
So my philosophy, my philosophy is this: there's a country in the world, I forget which one it was, but they haven't had a recorded DUI in like 34 years now. Do you know why?
Why?
Because they passed a law that said we're so sick and tired of people getting slaughtered on the highways that if you get pulled over and you blow for alcohol over the legal content, it's execution on the spot. Right there on the side of the road, the cop had the authority. If you blew hot into their fucking breathalyzer, they execute you on the side of the road. Well, that country hasn't recorded a DUI in 34 years.
I would guess not.
Right? Think about it. Or if somebody told you like if you ever drink again and you got pulled over, you're going to get shot in the face and executed, would you ever get in a car and drink again?
I hope not.
I'm sure there would be a couple of them that would be like, I can do it, I'll get away. You know what I mean? They would be the examples. They would be the examples.
I better in a couple of years. Yeah.
You know.
Type of guys.
Oh yeah, I've had my fair share. Way back in the day, before I was even legal age to drink. But so that's kind of my point, and that's kind of how I'll wrap up this chat tonight. Is this country seen a major problem inside their country, so they decided to take drastic measures to make drastic changes. So when it comes to crimes against children, sex crimes against children, and you know what I'm talking about, why not execute them? I mean, after all, my abuser, every time he touched me, he killed a part of me. I'll never get those pieces of myself back.
He stole that innocence,
Yeah. So if like, let's say looting the city's acts against a child under the age of 12, let's say the penalty was death. No judge, no jury, no executioner. Like you walk into like you're a detective, you walk into somebody's house and you see their dungeon and it's full of BDSM gear. Their laptops are full of explicit pictures of children being raped and whatnot, and they got hundreds of VHS tapes full of 6-8 hours of them sexually abusing children. Do you think they need a trial? Do you think they should have to go to court?
Yeah, what their rights should be waived
Yeah, they should be
right away.
right there in their fucking sex dungeon. I'll do it.
You've got the clear cut evidence
Yeah. What's the deal?
right there.
What's the deal? So if you made it so that was the penalty for that kind of crime, I'm not going to say it's going to stop.
Yeah.
It definitely makes some fucking drastic changes real quick. Real quick.
I don't know what the answer is, but it's scary. You know, we just need more people to look out for kids.
Yep.
I mean, and that's the hard thing too. Is, you know, so the social worker that I work with, she, a first grader, we go out to recess duty to monitor behaviors. This little girl was talking to her and then just hugged her, and that social worker said, "Thank you, but I need you to ask permission before you hug me." And I thought that was the rudest damn thing in the world.
Shit.
But I'm so conflicted on that now because I'm like, she says, you know, it's teaching them boundaries. You know?
Yeah.
That social worker is not a threat to her. But what if she did hug somebody that was a threat to her? And they took advantage of that trust.
Yeah. Yeah.
It still boggles my mind because
dude, I remember like out on the playground at Jefferson and shit, like we was always hugging on our teacher, you know what I mean? We was always hugging on our teacher and shit, you know what I mean? Like, I can't. Oh wow, dude. I know
the way that happened last week. I was like, what?
Wow.
What? So, and I still don't know how to feel about that because,
conflicted.
You know, yeah, I think, you know, human contact is just part of our nature. You know,
yeah.
We shake hands, we fist bump, we hug. The whole COVID thing, when everybody's faces were covered, that bothered me so bad. I was like, and the scary thing that happened with that is that whole first year that we had to wear masks, we got to take the masks off the last week of school. I could not recognize the kindergartners because I had never seen their face. I had only seen their eyes. So, and they didn't recognize each other. That was the other crazy thing.
Yeah. They're also saying that these kids, the younger ones, like the 2, 3, 4-year-olds, they're having major hard times with speech, like being able to talk.
Yes.
Because not being able to see their parents' mouth moving.
That was something that we ran into at the school. So we used face shields.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
Because we need to see their mouths too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a whole other discussion on that kind of stuff.
Sweet. Yeah, we'll definitely.
Anyway, I'm gonna go because I do gotta go to bed.
Well,
my voice is going out.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being here, Jeremiah. I really do.
Yeah, it was a good talk.
It really.
I hope it helps.
It does. It helps. It helps me, and I guarantee you, the message will be reached by at least one person, and you've already helped.
You know, one person. It's enough, man. And we can save one person. We help one person.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome.
For sure. All right, Jeremiah. Good night. I love you, bro. Darlene, sister, I love you. Remember.
Night, Darlene.
Jeremiah says good night, Darlene, and remember, even one child is one too many. Get to know.
Absolutely.
Like, subscribe. Thanks, everybody. Later, bro. Good night, sister.